Turn the mic on. Welcome to the Northeastern School of Nursing Summer 2024 Convocation and Pinning Ceremony. We are happy that you could join us to celebrate our newest candidates for graduation. For your safety, please take a moment to locate the two exits closest to you. If an evacuation is required, please proceed calmly to the closest available exit and follow the direction of university officials and emergency personnel. If you see something, say something. At this time, we're about to process our candidates, so we request that you please clear the aisles and take your seat. Thank you, and enjoy the ceremony.
Good afternoon, graduates, family, and friends. My name is Dr. Janet Monagle, and I am the Assistant Dean of the Pre-Licensure Nursing Program. Welcome to Northeastern University. I am thrilled to be here today, as I'm sure you're thrilled to be here for your graduates. We are pleased to have you join us and celebrate the accomplishments of these people. Pinning ceremonies are important rituals, and they symbolize dedication to the values of the nursing profession. Does anyone know why we do a pin? It's really something that is unique to the nursing profession, and all of us who have graduated from different colleges have a different pin. So the ceremony emphasizes the transition from student nurse to professional practitioner. The nursing pin, which is a testament to your hard work, is unique for each school and highlights the responsibility for each future healthcare professional. The torch and the Latin words lux, veritas, virtus mean light, truth, and courage. Wear that pin with pride that you are a nurse, and also with pride that you are a graduate from Northeastern University. I now introduce Dr. Amanda Chaufflet, Dean of Bouvet Colleges of Health Sciences School of Nursing, and invite her to give remarks.
Well, congratulations and a very warm welcome to our profession. I could not be happier to be sharing this moment with you. I remember my pinning ceremony like it was yesterday. And my opinion, and I know in the opinion of everyone on this stage, nursing school is among the most challenging and rewarding experiences in a person's life. And you have each successfully navigated its ups and downs. taking blood pressure on an actual human being for the first time. My hands were shaking so much the first time I did it. I can see his face, and I think he looked more scared than I was. Trying to wrangle a tiny infant so you can listen to breath sounds. My peds rotation is the one time in my life I really wasn't sure if I wanted to be a mom anymore because I was so scared of them. Forgetting a rationale for a medication that you're about to give and having to run out of your patient's room and cry in the hallway. Maybe that's just me, but it definitely happens. Or maybe you also remember the excitement of cracking your first case, of being presented with a discrete set of symptoms and actually figuring it out, remembering something that you learned from your book or from your experiences with your clinical instructors and saying, oh my gosh, I know what this is. I know how to help this patient. I'm hoping that at this point you've experienced the solemn awe of sharing space with someone who's having the worst day of their life and the joy of providing some small measure of comfort. If you haven't experienced that yet, you will very soon. I've been a nurse for a long time now, and I've never lost my sense of astonishment that I get to do this for a living. I started out as a nursing assistant working night shift in a small community hospital in Denver, Colorado. They had never hired a new grad nurse on my unit, but they made an exception for me when I got my first nursing degree at the Community College of Denver. Eventually, I worked my way up, got my bachelor's degree, my master's degree, and then my DNP. And I have been fortunate to work in a variety of settings, like acute care hospitals, ambulatory settings, health policy centers, hospital and health system administration, and now most recently, and my favorite, as a faculty member in a school of nursing. I don't think there's another profession in the world that offers so much flexibility and growth right within its reach with one degree. Sometimes people who aren't nurses ask me what makes nursing so distinct from the other healing or helping professions. I usually have a different answer depending on the day or the week or my mood, but the answer I come up with the most is that nursing is rooted in a shared humanity, and it's fueled by a radical love. I want to take just 90 seconds and tell you about my Gram, because she is one of the reasons that I know how to get through my days. I come from a long line of really interesting women, and my Gram was no exception. She was an immigrant from Norway who came over to the US right before World War II. And she was about 4'11" when she was standing on her tippy toes. She dyed her hair fire engine red from the time my entire life with her, and existed on a diet of Coors Light beer and dry, burnt hamburgers. Lived to the age of 94, so. My Gram was the only person who knew me really as Mandy Cleveland. Mandy Cleveland, the kid who grew up in a trailer park in the middle of Oklahoma City. And she is the person who taught me what it means to be a part of someone's life in a really meaningful way. And I could fill up the rest of this afternoon and really ruin your dinner reservations by telling you all about my Gram. But what I will tell you, in summary, is that I think about her every single day. She's not with me anymore, but she is. She used to wear this giant costume jewelry, and I got some of it after she passed away, and I'm actually wearing one of her most uncomfortable pieces right now, which was clearly designed by someone who never intended to wear it themselves. But I carry my Gram with me in situations that I'm both looking forward to, like today, and situations that I'm not looking forward to, because you are choosing, just like I chose, to enter a profession where you're going to be doing some really hard things. And you're going to have to look for the beauty and the love in the situations that you're in. And sometimes you're not going to find it. And in those moments, you're going to have to carry it forward with you from somewhere deep in your past. And for me, it's my Gram. So I carry the love of my Gram into every moment that I exist in. And I can tell you more than anything else, that's what has made me love our profession. Not just wake up and do it every day, not just be willing to stand up when other people sit down, but it's the fact that I get to do it and I get to thrive in it. And that's really my charge to you. You've got to find a way to not just do it, to not just show up, but to really fall in love with it. And don't be afraid to bring your whole heart into your professional life. Is that a deal? You don't all have to wear jewelry like this. It's a choice I make. Remember also that you're not there to save anyone. You're a partner and a guide and an advocate and a clinician. What you do matters, and it matters deeply. Now go out there and make a difference to someone. Now, I am thrilled to introduce you to a true friend of the Northeastern University School of Nursing and a fellow Husky. Dr. Justin Precourt is one of our alums who currently serves as the interim president of the University of Massachusetts Memorial Medical Center. He also serves on our School of Nursing Advisory Council. UMass Memorial Medical Center, the flagship member of UMass Memorial Health, is an 800-bed tertiary referral teaching hospital that employs 7,500 caregivers across 3 campuses and multiple community sites in central Massachusetts. This $2 billion nonprofit hospital provides life-saving care to over 1.5 million people throughout central New England, and Dr. Precourt runs it all. Prior to his current appointment as interim president, Dr. Precourt served as the chief nursing officer and senior vice president for patient care services at UMass Memorial Medical Center and chief nursing executive at UMass Memorial Health. Under his leadership, UMMC has leveraged an ambitious patient care services strategic plan to drive impressive performances in patient experience, as well as patient safety and quality, resulting in 25% increase in the center's likelihood to recommend HCAP metric, a 24% reduction in harm grid events, 60% fewer patient safety indicator events, and continued improvements in both readmission and risk-adjusted mortality rates for each of the last 4 years. Throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, he served as the organization's incident commander in COVID-19 response through multiple waves of the virus. His vast experience as a nurse leader enabled him to utilize innovative solutions to address capacity in the medical center, including a hospital-at-home program that has treated more than 1,000 patients and an ambitious emergency department redesign that has led to increased access and flow to central Massachusetts patients. Prior to joining UMass Memorial Medical Center, Dr. Precourt served as interim chief nursing officer at Tufts Medical Center, providing clinical, operational, and business leadership to patient care services and nursing. In addition to his leadership roles, he began his career at the bedside, working as a registered nurse for 8 years. Dr. Precourt holds membership in multiple professional organizations, including the Organization of Nurse Leaders, the American College of Healthcare Executives, the Massachusetts Association for Healthcare Quality, the American Nurses Association, and the American Association of Critical Care Nurses. He received his Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree from Northeastern University, woohoo, his Master of Science in Nursing degree from St. Joseph's College in Standish, Maine, and his Doctor of Nursing practice at Rush University. Justin and his wife Becky live in Arlington, Massachusetts, and have 3 daughters, Bridget, Tegan, and Natalie. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Justin Precourt to give our keynote address.
Thank you so much, Dean Schoflet, and to the entire faculty and to all of you for really honoring me with the opportunity to come and speak with you today. I was sharing earlier that this is a little outside of my element, much better around a table and in one-on-one conversations. So if I start off choppy, hopefully I'll get a little bit better. And if you remember one thing from today, just remember that we're hiring at UMass. Worcester has less traffic, cheaper parking, and cheaper rent than Boston does. So, and you feel free to drop my name and use me as a reference if you want to. But no, and really, in all seriousness, it's really is a distinguished honor being here. You know, it was 25 years ago, June, that I actually was sitting in this exact auditorium. It's a bit more renovated now, but it was this exact auditorium for my own pinning ceremony. And you know, the pinning ceremony in nursing as Dr. McGonigal said, really shared, it's the transition, right? It's the transition from formal education into practice. And you can think of it as another door opening for you. And as I was thinking about today, it's another door opening, but that door behind you is never closing, because as a nurse, you always will be and have become a lifelong learner. You know, nursing year over year is voted as one of the most trusted professions. Because of that, and it's because of our roots, we combine science along with technology, but most importantly, caring. And that caring and the combination of those three create the relationship. That relationship with our patients, that relationship with our peers, and that relationship with our colleagues is what helps drive patient outcomes. At the end of the day, we're all in it to make the lives of those around us better. You take your education, and soon you'll be embarking on your experience, and what you'll learn to form is your nursing intuition. Every nurse in this audience today, whether there's family members that are nurses or those on stage, know what I'm talking about when I speak about our nursing intuition. It's that ability to look and assess and understand a situation and know something may not be right. It's the ability to take the science and the knowledge you have and understand what might need to be done to right or wrong. One of the reasons that the dean asked me to come and speak today was really to share my own experience. And I share this with you because one of the greatest, what I think is one of the most valuable pieces of nursing is the foundation to provide you for the future. There are so many different things you can do with your nursing degree, and there's so many different ways that you can have such a positive impact really on society and on the lives that you touched. I remember for me, I chose nursing coming out of high school. I knew that I had wanted to do something in healthcare, and we had a job fair in a healthcare, really a career fair at our high school. I was a sophomore at the time. And I remember I went to the nursing session. There were 6 different parents that spoke, and all 6 of them did something different. And I remember at the time going home and talking with my parents and saying, you know, I looked at pharmacy and that felt very narrow. I looked at PT and OT and speech, and that all seemed narrow. But these nurses all spoke with a conviction, and they all spoke with a pride that I didn't see elsewhere, and each of them did something different. I chose Northeastern, to be honest with you, because of the experiential learning. The foundation that I got from Northeastern has really paved the way for really any and all future success. And I do always feel incredibly indebted to the education I got here. It allowed me to pursue a master's degree and then allowed me to further pursue my doctoral degree. You know, early on in my career, I started off as a med-surg nurse, worked in a trauma unit at New England Medical Center, now Tufts Medical Center. And then after a couple years, transitioned and worked out in California, both in Santa Barbara and then at Stanford. And then came back and spent 13 years at the Brigham. About 4 years within my time at the Brigham, made some transitions into leadership. First starting off as an access manager, and I would help cardiology patients throughout the entire state in New England get paired up with the appropriate care teams within the Brigham family. Later running a cardiac surgery ICU and a cardiac surgery step-down unit. I played an integral role in helping develop and open the Shapiro Cardiovascular Center. And at that point in time, it was 136 beds with 350,000 square feet, one of the most advanced centers in New England. Transitioning into Tufts helped manage through and learn even expanded executive leadership, and then my time at UMass. At UMass, as was shared, I spent about 4 years as the chief nursing officer, and then now about a year and a half in the president role. And in each of these roles, I share that with you because in each of these roles, the impact and the reach gets a little bit broader. But there's certain key moments in my career that is really what I wanted to share with you today. And I hope for the graduates, you take some of this with you to just really understand the impact and the differences you have. The first was a night when I was at Stanford, and I was working in bone marrow transplant. I had a 3-patient assignment. In my assignment, I had a 52-year-old patient who was do not resuscitate, do not intubate, who was essentially actively dying. We're waiting for her daughter to fly back from Paris. She was in school in Europe, to fly back to be able to say goodbye. I had a 22-year-old young girl who had just had a bone marrow transplant, who was going through what's called rejection when the body wasn't accepting the transplant, who had serious gastrointestinal challenges with it. And we spent the majority of our 12 hours that night together in the bathroom. Then I had a patient who was actually a rodeo cowboy who had had a transplant and had done well, but then was readmitted with some fungal pneumonia. And with the patient who was in her 50s, when her daughter arrived, she lasted for a couple more hours and then she peacefully passed away. As I was saying goodbye to the family that night, the husband gave me a hug, and the daughter gave me a hug, and they looked me in the eyes and they said, "We couldn't have gone through this without the support you've given us over the last couple of weeks." The 22-year-old, we got through the night, and I had a few nights off, and I went back to work, and the mom and her, when I caught up with them 2 or 3 nights later, she was doing much better. And they looked me in the eyes again and said, "Thank you so much. Your help and support, your kindness, and your advocacy were what got us through that night." And then the rodeo cowboy. He had lived kind of a wild life. He was a bit of a transient all over the place. He was estranged from his children. That night, he had gone into some respiratory distress and was getting ready to be intubated, which is when you put a breathing tube in. He signaled to me for the phone, and he pointed to his bedside table, and in the top drawer was a book. When I opened the book for him, there was a number there. It was a number for one of his sons, and he asked to call. So we called his son. We explained what was going on. They were estranged. They hadn't talked in about a decade. He then tried to share a story with his son, but he was too weak to talk. So he asked me to read a letter he had written. In the letter, he apologized for some of their challenges in the past, and he apologized for how they really had become estranged. And he just wanted him to know that he loved him and that he was going to miss him. The son, with the receiver to his dad's ear, said the same back and said there were no hard feelings and he could go in peace. We transferred him to the ICU that night, and he later passed away. I reflect often on that night, similar to the dean reflecting on our grandmother, and think about that is the impact you have as a nurse. That is what it's all about. That night, in particular, I was able to use science and knowledge, technology, along with my intuition, to help these families and help these patients be better. And that is, at the end of the day, what it's all about. Fast forward 20 years, and we have a global pandemic called COVID. I think everyone knows what COVID is in here, so I won't go through the background there. But as the chief nursing officer and the chief nursing executive at UMass, I was what was called the incident commander for each of the waves of the COVID pandemic, partnering with state and local officials, understanding how we could get vaccines out to patients and families and our staff, understanding what treatment options we would have available, having protocols in place to potentially have to ration care. Thank goodness we never did. Opening up and closing field hospitals to treat patients, keeping staff safe, keeping staff sane, and making sure that their wellness was paid attention to. Because at this point in time, my role in all of that, right, was to make sure the staff had what they needed to take care of patients and make sure the staff had what they needed to stay safe. That is leadership on a global scale. That is nursing. At the end of the day, you may not remember a lot from today. You may not always remember everything from your education. Just remember you made a tremendous choice. You chose a noble profession. You chose a profession where you'll build relationships with people who care about you and who you'll learn to care about. Don't ever underestimate the impact you have on patients, families, and the lives you touch. Recently at a board meeting, I had helped one of our board members get his young nephew transferred into the hospital late on a Saturday night. And as I walked into the board meeting, this big gregarious guy came kind of running across the room and gave me a big bear hug and almost took me to the floor. But it just shows, because we got his nephew in and he got the care he needed and he's doing well. But it just shows the impact you have, right? Those small gestures, but also that understanding of what needs to be done. Remember the old saying, right? You have 2 eyes, you have 2 ears, and you have 1 mouth. You want to look, and you want to listen, and you want to assess. You want to do all of that more than you speak. Understand your environment and understand your surroundings. But most importantly, remember you're not alone. You're part of a team. Look to your left, you look to your right, you look forward, and you look behind you. You'll always have your faculty in front to help guide you. You'll always have your friends and families behind you to support you, and you'll always have your peers and colleagues surrounding you. That will never change. Again, it was a tremendous honor to be here in front of all of you today. And I meant it when I said we were hiring. I will gladly, you can definitely use me as a reference. That'll help with the HR process. But really, thank you again for this time. It's really such an honor for me, and congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Precourt. At this time, I am pleased to introduce to you Chloe Minton, who will address the summer 2024 Accelerated Bachelor of Science in Nursing class. Oh. Here you go.
Hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Chloe Minton. I'm the student speaker for the AVSN summer class of 2024. For those of you who do know me, are you surprised to see me up here? Of course, I couldn't miss on my last opportunity to yap at all my friends. Today is a day of celebration, reflection, and immense gratitude. We stand here today not only as future nurses, but as survivors of an accelerated nursing program. For those of you who aren't aware, an accelerated program is where 4 years of nursing is turned into 4 semesters of nursing. At points, it felt like drinking from a fire hose and trying to stay dry. We quickly learned that clinical rotations are an adventure, sleep is a luxury, coffee is a necessity, and your friends in your cohort are your lifeline. Throughout this journey, we've learned to assess, document, and care for patients from all walks of life. We've mastered techniques, sort of learned how to pronounce drug names, and we've mastered the art of looking confident while having no idea what we're doing. But beyond the textbooks and exams, we've gained something far more valuable, the understanding of what it means to be a nurse. We've learned that nursing is not just a career, it's a calling. It's about being there in the most critical moments of a person's life, offering not just medical care, but also comfort and compassion. We've seen the power of a kind and gentle word, a gentle touch, and a listening ear. We've learned to celebrate small victories and to find strength in the face of adversity. Our journey was not easy by any means, but it was incredibly rewarding. We've grown not only in our knowledge and skills, but also as individuals. We've learned to manage our time, juggling multiple responsibilities, and adapt to rapidly changing situations. We've developed critical thinking abilities and honed our problem-solving skills. Most importantly, we learned to trust ourselves and each other. But through it all, we've had one another. We've shared notes, we've shared snacks and pep talks, we've laughed together, cried together, and pulled each other through the toughest of times. I could not be more thankful for this cohort. Today, as we receive our pins, we are not just celebrating our academic achievements. We are celebrating the friendships we've forged, the mentors who've guided us, and the families who've supported us. To our professors, thank you for your patience and responses to many emails. To our friends and family, thank you for your unwavering support, your understanding, and your constant encouragement. And to our significant others, enjoy your minors in nursing, you've earned it. We truly could not have done this without any of you. And finally, to my fellow graduates, thank you for being my rock, my study buddies, and my partners on this wild adventure. We did it. We made it through endless exams, clinical rotations, and the too often mental breakdowns. We are now ready to step into the world as nurses, with our heads held high and our hearts full of compassion. As we all move on to bigger and better things, I hope we can all remember the lessons we've learned, the experiences we shared, and the amazing memories we have. Let's carry forward the spirit we have, the joy of helping others, and the ability to find humor in the most challenging experiences. Because if there's one thing nursing school has taught us, it's that laughter truly is the best medicine. I'm so incredibly proud of everyone here today. We did it. Congratulations, AVSN class of 2024. Here's to our nurses, and here's to us.
Thank you, Chloe. It is now my honor to present to you the summer class of 2024 candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nursing. There are 29 candidates in this graduating cohort who are completing their program of study for a Bachelor of Science in Nursing degree. At this time, I want to introduce to you Dr. Nancy Mazzoni, Assistant Clinical Professor, and invite her to please join me for the pinning of the candidates. I also invite Dean Amanda Shiflett to join us to greet the candidates. And lastly, I also will introduce to you Kara Dalton, who will distribute the roses, and the faculty marshal, Dr. Gretchen Forsley, Assistant Clinical Professor. Faculty Forsley, would you please direct the candidates to the stage? Anesso Amidio. Christopher Baburian. Kara Chason. Alexis Dacey. Michael Donahue. Deanna Flores. Kylie Fullerton. Sarah Hart. Elizabeth Ebay. Jordan Jetty. Asen Mamakai Mayan, right? Thank you, Mamakai Mayan, thank you. Diana Mensa. Brianna Miller. Thank you. Veronica Makunde. Thank you. Felitas Numbi. Numbi? Gumby. Thank you. Caitlin Peterson. Okay. Give this to her. Okay. Erica Prader. Lillian Ross. Sophie Tarastini. Dolkar Tenzin Ziering. Thank you. You can give it to her. Alexis Figadori. Ethan Waters. Goddess White. Thank you. You can give it to her. Give it to her. I think it's easier. Iceland Ajapon. Thank you. Iceland Ajapong. I can do that.
Yeah. I think it's as phonetic as it comes.
Chloe Minton. Congratulations to all of our candidates. This concludes this portion of the ceremony. At this time, though, I want to introduce to you Dr. Tiffany Kim, Associate Clinical Professor, and I invite her to officiate the awards.
Hello. Good afternoon to all of our students and guests. I am so thrilled to see you sitting in those seats and to celebrate you. It doesn't seem like that long ago when we were together in Women's and Families. I was preparing cranberry sauce for a postpartum hemorrhage simulation. And this semester, I had the pleasure of working with all of you in public health and seeing how much growth you've had over the last 4 semesters. It's truly astonishing, and the future of nursing looks bright. I'm just thrilled that you're going out there, so congratulations. I wish I could give each of you an award, but I cannot, so I'll just announce a few. Okay, we're pleased to recognize those students who will be receiving awards in various categories. These awards, except for the Academic Excellence Award, were voted by the faculty. The first award is given to the graduating senior who strove for personal and professional growth as well as academic success, and who demonstrated a commitment to nursing and a genuine respect for the dignity and value of the individual as evidenced by relationships with patients and families, faculty and staff, and fellow students. I am pleased to recognize Goddess White. And Goddess, please come up. The recipient of the Nightingale Award, please come up to the stage.
Okay, Goddess.
Okay. The next award is given to the graduating senior who has demonstrated exceptional personal and professional growth as a nursing student, perseverance, and strength of character throughout their program of study at Northeastern University. I now introduce you to Felistas Ngumbi, the recipient of the Personal Achievement Award. Felistas Ngumbi, please come up. The final award is given to the graduating senior who has achieved the highest GPA in nursing courses at Northeastern University. I am pleased to recognize Liam Rogers, the recipient of the Academic Excellence Award. Invite him to come up. Okay, well, we will think of him. Congratulations to all of our candidates. I now invite Dean Schauffele to give closing remarks.
I'm always aware that I'm the last thing standing between you and food, so I promise to keep this short. As a wrap-up, I have 3 asks of you. The first was already said by Dr. Precourt, and that is you need to keep your friends close. As you've gone through this nursing program, you have made deep connections with your cohort. You're about to embark on the professional part of your nursing career, where you're going to go out, scatter to the wind, find your first nursing jobs in a professional environment, and hopefully start in a nurse residency program where you'll find another cohort. Keep the people that you're closest to from your class right at this minute actually close to you. Send them a text or an email. You probably think at this moment, there's no way I'm going to let these guys get away from me. And then 6 months and 12 months and 18 months will pass, and you'll say, gosh, I wonder what happened to so-and-so. Try not to do that. Try to keep your text threads alive. Try to keep your emails alive. Go get coffee every now and again. And then when you get to your new professional environments, find a couple of people around you who laugh at the same things that you laugh at. Because that's my second ask, is that you try to find the humor. When the going gets tough, the tough get strange, and that's okay. You'll quickly find that you're not able to tell jokes at Thanksgiving that the rest of your family understands. And that's really when you're gonna need your nursing colleagues the most, because they will understand why things are funny, okay? So keep your friends, find your friends, keep your humor. And then remember that you are a Husky. You're a part of this Northeastern University family, and you have a community that is rooting for you every step of the way, okay? And when you're ready to come back to graduate school, give us a call. I know you think it's not gonna happen, and a year or 2 from now, you're gonna say, I wonder what's next. Mark my words. With that, it is my pleasure to wrap this amazing and beautiful ceremony up. Family and friends, I ask that you please remain seated until the stage party and graduates have recessed out. We're going to come down around the right side of the stage, and the graduates will follow those of us in these goofy robes. Following the recession, please proceed out the front towards the lobby, and you'll be directed by our staff to the Curry Center, where you can all connect back together. Graduates, we ask that as you recess out, please go directly to the Curry Center. You're going to be tempted to give hugs as you're leaving, and that's totally normal, but keep it moving so that we can get to the Curry Center together. And once again, congratulations and welcome to our profession. We are so proud of you.